Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for clicking play again. Um, man, I really wish I had like a ton of good news. Like I could just get in front of the camera and be like just spewing fabulous news for our country. I sincerely wish that I could do that. But the reality is that's just not the news. If you want fake news that makes you feel good about where the economy is heading, then certainly like mainstream media is your go-to. Because according to these clowns, like we're whoo-wee, everything's on fire, everything's coming back. What's coming back? What is coming back? So everybody has vaccinations in their arms. Not everybody, but you get the idea. Like, ooh, okay, we're seeing a lot of people um, go spend their $1,400. Today I was on my way home. I was driving by a couple of restaurants, and they're not even great restaurants. They're kind of like mediocre, run of the mill, um, like Red Robin type of restaurants with people waiting outside. Like, what in the world? Why is there this big line waiting to get inside Red Robin? Look, if you like Red Robin, I'm not knocking them. I'm just saying, like, it's kind of mediocre food, right? Like, you wouldn't wait in line for it, would you? You know what? Sometimes I'm like, man, it's really hard to attract a crowd. It's really hard to get new subscribers when kind of your shtick is negative. But guess what? The future of our economy is not a shtick. It's a reality. And that was the motivation for starting this channel in the first place. Was like, man, I've got to try to, I know for certain what's going to happen, and I got to try to warn as many people as I can. Family, friends, loved ones, but also the other decent people, not only in my community, but in the communities around me, because we are headed for a real economic downturn. And I could have cussed right there. I really wanted to, but I refrained. You thought that was funny? Look, I could build a channel really easy if, it was something positive. I'm going to build a channel just based on tater tots and what people like to drown them in. So we can go do reviews at restaurants like, ooh, look at these green chili tater tots. I'm sure I would get a lot of views. Huh? Or look at these chili and cheese tater tots. They even got jalapenos. And go do different restaurant reviews. But that's just not what's important right now. What's important right now is that you're paying attention to what's going on, because the mainstream media is going to sell you a bill of goods. You want to know what's going on? Let's see if I can point the right direction just based on instinct. Please be right. Please be right. Bam! Oh, shit. That's what's going on. This right here is what's going on. That's what's going on. We're so far in debt as a nation, we can barely afford the minimum payment. I know I've been over this before, guys, but it hasn't changed. Like, nothing changed. Look at this. Look at this number right here. Oh man, even with my glasses, it's hard to read. U.S. federal debt to GDP ratio. And then it breaks down the years. Ooh, my finger went too far. I got to get back in the lines. Okay, but what's important is where we are now. Look where we are now. What is that number? You know what? There was a time in this country that we would look at foreign countries that were over 100% debt to GDP. And we would commonly refer to them. And when I say we, I mean like economists, right? The educated folk from Ivy League schools. Oh, they're just this is what the economists would say. The educated folk, they're really a banana republic. Just because their debt to GDP was over that 100 percentage point. We're way past that now. That ship has sailed. And we're being sold a bill of goods like everything is fine. Everything's, look at this great rebound. The only thing that's rebounded is the Fed pushing trillions of dollars into our economy. That is what's keeping this afloat. Let me ask you this. So 1.9 trillion was the most recent. Okay. How many jobs did that 1.9 trillion create? Are you hearing in your communities about massive job programs that are kind of designed to re-educate people and get them to a place that they're going to, be viable in a new economy? Because I'm not hearing that in my community. What I'm hearing is I got my $1,400 check and I'm going to buy a big screen or whatever it is, whatever frivolous, silly little thing it is. That's what I'm hearing in my community. I'm not hearing that this is creating a bunch of jobs. And I'm not hearing that on a national level because that's not what we're doing. But we're supposed to believe the economy is roaring back, right? There will be a time where we are going to have to pay the piper. If we just keep, damn man, if we just keep spending like this, who do you think pays that? Your kids? No. I mean, they might pay a little portion. Your grandkids? Yeah. Your grandkids? It's unsustainable. So let's see about this economy that's roaring back. Okay? Let's see about this economy because remember, even before the before the health crisis, this economy was a service-based economy. Service and hospitality. We don't produce anything. Oh, manufacturing is coming back. Really? Where is manufacturing coming back? I would like to know. Please, if you think you know where manufacturing is coming back, I sincerely would like you to comment in the comments down below and tell me where America is having this huge comeback in manufacturing. Because I would like to see that data. Guess what? It doesn't exist. In fact, it's so embarrassing that even our flag, when I go to buy an American flag, guess where it's made? It's made in China. Because that's who's producing everything that we're consuming. And that is where the $1,400 you just received will most likely end up. China, Japan, some other place that is actually producing, because we don't produce. Where is manufacturing blowing up? I would like to know. Please share in the comments. So let me get to it. Let's look at what the real facts are. Let's see. Okay. So if I look at this with an eagle's eye. Okay, I'm kidding because I really can't even see hardly without glasses anymore. Let me look with a 46-year-old man who never ate carrot's eye. Before the health crisis in February, I see an unemployment rate that's roughly at 3.5. Look where it was almost a year ago, April of 2020. Oh, April of 2020, unemployment rate skyrocketed to 14.8. But we all know, wait a minute, that's not fair. We all know it was a health crisis. I get it. So where is the recovery? Okay, so let's go here to October. That is a significant recovery. In fact, if we would have continued on that trajectory, I would have less of an argument. But we haven't. We haven't continued on this type of a decline. In fact, we've found more of a baseline since January. Since January, we've been at 6.3, according to this, right? Which I know these stats are garbage. You know they're garbage, but we let them lie to us, right? To make us feel good. Oh, 6.3 unemployment. We're decent. Are we though? Because where's it at right now? 6.2. I would say this represents here more of the new baseline. Okay. Well, how significant is that? I don't know. Look at the difference between where it was 3.5 and where it is now. Almost double. And almost double is the new baseline? No. I wish it was that rosy of a picture, but guess what, guys? It's really not. These are their crap numbers. These numbers don't include people who have actually fallen off the rolls. These numbers don't include people who just have given up altogether on looking for work. So what are the real numbers? Here's the real numbers. Oh no, you're kidding. I can't believe that. So we have a choice here. We can believe these BS numbers at 6.2, where they don't account for people who have been on unemployment so long they no longer qualify for unemployment. They don't count people who have just altogether given up looking for work. So if we actually include all those people, guess where the unemployment actually is? It's actually more around 25%. Is your stomach turning yet? Because if it's not, it should be. And here you are being told that everything's fine. We're just roaring back like the roaring 20s. Why? Why do you have to inject another $1.9 trillion into an economy if it's bouncing back so, ferociously? It's not. And they know it. The only thing holding up the economy right now would be stimulus. That's it. So let's look at initial claims. Now, okay, so we're almost back a year, right? We're almost back a full year. This number is from March 28th of 2020. 6,867,000. Indeed, at the height of the circus, at the height of our new normal, right? So this is when the world was freaking out and people were just buying toilet paper in droves because, things were really shitty. So that's not really fair, right? So where would it be fair for me to look at? Is it fair to go 6 months later? If we're at March, is it fair for me to say, okay, what were we doing 6 months later? How about How about just go to July? Okay, no, it's still rather high. Let me see if I can find a low. How about August? Look at that. Weekly, 971,000 new unemployment claims. Okay, now listen, we're almost at the year mark. So certainly things have gotten better than that, of course. I would imagine, like in my mind's eye, if we're really trying to make things better, good Lord, it's got to be below, I would say, initial unemployment claims. If the economy is really roaring back the way that our media suggests it is, we're probably at 200,000 or below that, right? 200,000 new unemployment claims are below. Certainly that would be the expectation, that it'd be somewhere in there if indeed we are in this robust economy that's so healthy and the stock market's just going crazy because it's never seen growth like this, and housing prices are just excrementally just growing like crazy, and things are just so good. Now guess what they were last week? 770,000 new unemployment claims. Guys, and I'm not even positive that that is accurate. That might be low because they do everything they can to deflate these numbers, to put out the rosiest picture they can, telling us that everything is great. Don't worry. Look around your own town. How many of these commercial buildings in your town are still boarded up? How many small mom and pop restaurants went out of business in your hometown? I'd like to know. Put your comments down below. What are you seeing in your communities? I'll tell you what I'm seeing in my community. I'm seeing really big corporations, really big conglomerates like Walmart's and Costco's. They're doing great. Mom and pop places, not so well. And guess what? Small business prior to the pandemic accounted for 49% of our GDP. And we have practically killed it. But I'm supposed to believe we're in some robust recovery. Really? How many small mom and pop restaurants in your community are gone now? And I want you to be honest about that. Don't sugarcoat it. The media does enough sugarcoating for all of us. Okay? If it's so robust, if we're really just back in the good times again, then certainly I would expect the labor participation rate to have rebounded in an outstanding fashion. Where was it prior to the health crisis? Well, okay, even if I give it the benefit of the doubt, we're like, okay, 63.3, health crisis hits, labor participation rate tanks. Where are we at now? Does that look like an uptrend to you? Since October, does that really look like an uptrend to you? Of course it doesn't. But why isn't the media covering any of this? Why isn't it that... Hold on, I'm going to bring myself up because I'm going to give you the lowdown real quick. Why isn't it that the media doesn't report the real news anymore about our economy? Guys, Thursday, every Thursday, the new unemployment claims are released. There was a time in this country where 770,000 new unemployment claims would have been front page news. And it wasn't that long ago. And now they don't even mention it. You know what they mention? I'll tell you what they mention. They mention the incredible growth of the stock market. That's completely disconnected from reality. They mention Bitcoin. They mention growth stocks. This is a house of cards, and it's going to collapse. It's the reason for the channel. I implore each one of you, please. Food, water, canned food, water. Invest in some security for your home. If you don't have a way to protect yourself, you had better have a way to protect yourself. Cameras are certainly no blanket of security in and of themselves, but they don't hurt in a self-defense case. Okay? As things begin to turn, as this economy begins to close in on itself, and it's going to, and you might say, well, when? Well, when is it going to? I'll tell you exactly when. When they stop injecting all of this money into our economy. And I don't think they're going to stop anytime soon. I don't think it's going to be this year. I don't know if it'll be next year. By 2023, the writing's going to be on the wall. I don't know if it'll go that long, guys. I know this. You can't just print money to pull yourselves out of trouble. Okay, you give everybody $1,400, and before that it was $600. And oh yeah, before that it was $1,200. But see, a lot of you, before I even mentioned the $1,200, a lot of you had already forgotten. Because Americans we have terrible short-term memory. But we've already put a ton of cash into this economy. The Fed has already pulled out every rabbit they had in their hat. And if you think the Fed is going to fight inflation, they're not. I've got news for you. They're not. Mortgage rates are going to continue to climb. The yield on the 10-year bond, they're not going to continue to. In fact, here, let me show you. Look at this here. And I'll let you guys kind of, I don't know. Look, go to CNBC and read this article. This is a good article right here. The Fed will not extend a pandemic crisis rule that had allowed banks to relax their capital levels. Banks are going to have to show their full balance sheets again. People don't understand what that means. So the SLRs are a complicated thing, but they kind of are and they kind of aren't. But I'm not going to get into the minutia. But right here, relaxing the so-called supplementary leverage ratio allowed banks to exclude treasuries and deposits from their reserve requirements. So banks now, who have traditionally done, fractional lending, banks now are going to have a lot more capital in order to make more loans. Well, it shouldn't make that big of a difference because banks right now are really cash heavy. But watch what happens with the short-term yield. Mortgage rates are already going up. They're going to continue to go up. The question is, right now, the Fed is talking real tough. Jerome Powell pretty much is saying, hey, I'm going to keep things like they are. I'm not going to have knee-jerk reactions to the market. We'll see about that, Mr. Powell. How high do you think he's going to allow interest rates to go? I think we're at 3.2% right now. I could be wrong. It's close to that, 3.1, 3.2% on mortgages. And that's a significant increase over last month. So it'll be interesting to see how they react to this. I don't think they're going to let it keep going, but I really don't think they can fight it. So I've droned on enough. I'm going to bring it back home. Here it is, guys. Please, if you've watched the video this far, you know you owe me a like and subscribe, because there's no way you sat through all my ranting, and if you don't like my channel, you certainly do. Welcome aboard. Please share, like, subscribe. It grows the community. I hope all of you have a great week ahead, and I will see you probably midweek, because I don't know. I miss giving you an update. So have a great Monday. Take care.